Well, it can be so exciting to move into a new neighborhood and discover parks, great restaurants, and new friends. Or it can be something totally different. Like for a mom who moved into a new home and received a horrible note from her neighbor. The note demanded that the recently arrived mom keep her toddler from going out of the yard to play no more than 15 minutes per day. And why? Because the child was upsetting the neighbor's pets with his laughter at play. Now, if this wasn't psychotic enough, the angry neighbor said she'd call the police if her rules were not honored. Now, here's what the note said in part. I'm quoting from it. Every day this week when weather has been nice, you proceed to let your small child run free in your backyard and laugh and giggle and carry on without end. End quote. Now imagine that, a kid playing in the backyard. Shocking. This lovely neighbor continued. She said this is very disruptive for my two dogs and my bird who sits next to the window and likes to look in your yard.
There you go.
What a voyeur. Huh.
Wow.
At least limit his outside time to 15 to 20 minutes a day so my dogs can be outside without seeing your little boy running around. Ooh. Oh, indeed. Now, the note made it to Twitter, and the responses were not in the pet owner's favor. People suggested that the mom get her son a horn or a drum set to play with in the backyard.
I'm with him.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. Speaking of music, kids, I never allowed my kids, to listen to classical music growing up.
You got to be kidding.
No.
Why?
There's way too much sax and violins for kids, A lot of that in today's world.
I got to tell you, you seem like a very troubled man to me, Trey.
I'm just trying to be a blessing.
Troubled. Yeah.
By the way, do you know what do you call a viola and a lawsuit have in common?
No, I have no idea.
Well, everyone is happy when the case is closed.
Oh. Hey, Keith, I'm not looking right. Do we have a viola player over there?
No,
the band?
I wouldn't have said that if we did.
Good. I'm glad we don't, because that would have really hurt their feelings and insulted them. They would have jumped up and walked out.
Yeah.
Hey, Keith, do you know what you get when you drop a piano down a mine shaft?
I have no idea.
A flat minor.
Oh.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
A flat minor. You got that? Down a mine shaft. That's right.
Minor.
Clever.
And that's how you deliver a musical joke, gentlemen.
Thank you for the lesson.
What's the moral of this story for the dear mom? Perhaps it's this thought. The Bible tells us to love our neighbors. Also says to love our enemies, because they're generally the same people. But in this case, it's also probably the old cowboy wisdom that says, trust your neighbor, but brand your cattle.
There you go.
Wow.
Just don't brand your son. That's not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. All right. Small children are kind of like Hollywood celebrities. You never know what they're going to stick up their noses. I don't think they got that one. Well, maybe they did. That's even worse.
It paints a picture, yeah.
Yeah. In 2018, over in New Zealand, a 5-year-old boy named Samir Anwar got a Lego piece stuck up his nose. Ooh. His parents couldn't see it, so they took him to a doctor, and he couldn't find it either. Maybe they should have tried a plastic surgeon.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, the doctor said perhaps Shamir was lying, and if not, it would probably make its way to his digestive tract, where this too shall pass. Well, in fact, the doctor said Samir may have thought the Lego was in his nose, but it's not. You see what I did there? Huh?
Yeah. We see it all too well.
Yeah. But then last weekend, a mere 2 years later, Samir was sniffing some freshly baked cupcakes when he felt a pain in his nostrils, so he blew his nose, and lo and behold, the Lego fell completely out of his nose. He said to his parents, I told you it was there. And Samir finally got to finish making his Batman Lego figure. By the way, adding this, true story, my sister, who's 2 years older than me, which means she's very young. I said my sister, 2 years older than me, which means she's very young.
We heard you.
When she was like 2 years old, she stuck a peanut up in her nose, but she didn't tell anyone. And for several days, she kept telling my parents My nose hurts. I don't feel good. And finally, they asked her, said, well, is there anything that might explain this? And it'd been several days. And she said, well, it might be that peanut I stuck up my nose.
Ooh.
Trip to the doctor, peanut comes out, and she's fine. There you go. So, it happens. I think I'd rather have a Lego up my nose than a peanut, though. Anyway, lesson for mom and dad from now on, whenever anything goes missing in the house, you know where to look.
There you go.
Hey, Keith, do you know why the Lego basketball player was so bad?
I have no idea.
Because he kept throwing up bricks.
Oh.
Now,
Yeah.
all right, let's move on. Hey, if you still have a young adult at home and you're waiting for them to get a job or go to school, I got the perfect answer. A German university is offering idleness grants. That's right, idleness grants for people willing to abstain from activity as part of a research project. The University of Fine Arts in Hamburg says that 3 people will receive $1,900 grants for doing nothing as part of a study. Applicants are even free to choose their own form, of idleness, an activity that they will abstain from. And a panel of school officials will choose the 3 best pitches. Hey, talk about the old Dire Straits song lyric. It really is money for nothing.
That's so true. And you know, Gov, I had a fast food order delivered today with nothing in it. Really
what do you mean? How is that?
No, I ordered McDonald's, but got Jack in the Box.
Oh,
so it was
Jack
totally
Jack
in the
Jack
box.
in the box. And
Yeah. Well, I have a story about
Okay.
nothing moving in traffic. I was going into Washington, D.C. It was absolute gridlock. This guy knocks on the window. I roll down my window and ask, what's happening? Then this guy says, terrorists are holding the entire Congress hostage.
wow.
My.
They're asking for $100 million.
Oh.
Otherwise, they're going to douse them in gasoline and set them on fire. And I'm going from car to car collecting donations. So I asked, what's everybody giving? And he said, roughly a gallon. Couldn't say it. Couldn't believe it.
Hey, that may be the best of the night. Hey, Keith, I only have one piece of advice for everyone after that joke. Never date a tennis player. You know why?
No.
Because love means nothing to them.
Oh, love. Yeah.
All right, back to Hamburg. Frederick von Boris, who designed the program, said, doing nothing isn't very easy. Never met my kids, that's for sure. We want to focus on active inactivity. If you say you are not going to move for a week, then that's impressive. If you propose you're not going to move or think, that might be even better. You know, this sounds more and more like a teenage dream, doesn't it? Yeah. And here's the capper. Von Boris says that participants who submit their reports will be paid regardless of whether their attempt at inactivity was successful. So I guess if you accidentally become productive and accomplish something in a weak moment, you still get paid. How about that?
I like that.
Yeah, Van Boris reminds everyone this scholarship program is not a joke. No, it's an experiment with serious intentions. How you can turn a society that is structured around achievements and accomplishments on its head. I'd say the good professor just needs to visit Portland, Oregon for an answer to that question, and he won't even have to pay his subjects. Okay, here is an example of how being obese can save your life. In Henan province, China, a young man fell into his family's well, but he was so fat his big belly couldn't fit into the well. He got stuck in the top like a cork in a wine bottle. His shirtless torso, yes, he was shirtless, and I apologize for that in the photo. It gets worse. He was sticking up out of the ground with his legs dangling down into the well. It was kind of like the worst episode of Lassie ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Anyway, that man may not know this, but if you drink 2 glasses of kale juice every day, it will destroy your belly fat, unfortunately, because it may destroy your desire to live, too.
Yeah.
Well, the man who was stuck finally got extricated from the hole when 5 firefighters tied ropes to him, and they all pulled and pulled until he popped out. It was reported that he weighed 300 pounds, but the firefighters estimated 500 pounds. And they've got the hernias to prove that, too. So. Well, the fur was flying in Oakland during a recent baseball game, and no, it was not because of the two teams arguing a call or a brushback pitch. It was because a giant teddy bear took a line drive foul ball right to the head. You see, Oakland has a section where they've placed several giant teddy bears to fill in his fans, never thinking about the risk of them getting the stuffing knocked out of them. Well, thankfully, the bear bounced right back like a prize fighter, ready for another round.
Oh, wow. Hey, Governor, did I ever tell you about how I worked my way through school at a teddy bear factory?
I don't think you did.
People would always ask me, well, what do you do there? And it was easy. I always say, just stuff.
Oh, gosh.
Stuff.
Hey, Keith, do you know how a bear catches fish?
No.
Barehanded.
Oh!
He catches them barehanded, Keith. That's how he does it.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get back to our teddy bear who got his bell rung. Now, that teddy bear was not the same one that comedian Bill Murray was seen singing together with before a Cubs game, even though they bear a resemblance.
Let me root for Chicago! If we don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
No teddy bears were harmed in the making of that video. I'm speaking of the Oakland game. By the way, I cannot vouch for the bear listening to Bill Murray sing as to whether he was injured from hearing that. Could be. Finally tonight, while many pet lovers choose cats for their home, one of the side effects of such a decision is a lack of privacy, because cats do not honor your privacy, and people online took some time to demonstrate this with their own cats. At first, might be something like this, trying to get under a door to be with you. Or it could be, in this owner's case, looking down from above, maybe just to watch over you. But then the cat can get a little intrusive, like when you're taking a relaxing bath and open your eyes to this. Yeah, scare you. Until finally, your cat will not give you a moment's peace and actually gets a little scary.
Ooh.
Well, just like the cat owner, we got to go. But always remember that we read the news.
So you don't have to.
Wait, don't click that button. Well, unless it was the subscribe button, and then carry on. And while you're down there, hit that little notification bell too. Oh, and if you leave a like and a comment, I will personally give my dog Toby a treat.